Welcome again to the MyZone online school. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Esther Kamati, and today we have a lot of fun lessons planned for you today, but do not touch anything yet before you sanitize, as our theme is to keep on learning, but let's keep on learning under safe conditions. So after we have sanitized, we're going to move right into Teacher Hetty's class, where she'll be teaching the grade 1 class. That is week 4, lesson 4, and that is prepositions and directions. I wonder what she has to say.
Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, lesson 1, prepositions and directions.
Good day, friends, and welcome to MyZone online school. My name is Teacher Hetty, and let's say hello to my friend. Our theme for this week is colors. But before we start with our work for today, let's sanitize our hands. We take our sanitizer, we spray it on the inside of our hands, and we rub our hands together, and we also rub on the back side and between our fingers, and we give our hands an all-round squishy squashy, and we are set and sanitized. Today's lesson is about comparison and the letter T. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed the lesson on letter C. Remember, cars can cruise down curvy C and stop just near the ground. I hope you enjoyed coloring all the pictures and you enjoyed making the wave pattern. Now, let's remember to practice the letter C by saying K. Today's lesson is on page 21 in our booklet. Let's turn to page 21. Now, today's letter is about, it's letter T. It's letter T. Now let's think about letter T. When you hold your hands in front of you, you will see that letter T can be one straight hand and one flat hand, and this will give us an idea of what letter T looks like. Now let's write the letter T. We start at the top of the line. We go straight down, and just near the ground, we give him a kick, a round curvy kick, and we make a straight line on the line in the middle. That's how we make letter T. We start at the top of the line, we go straight down, and just below the ground, we make a kick, a round curvy kick, and a straight line on the line. Now let's look at some items that starts with the letter T. Let's look at toothpaste. Toothpaste. Let's look at another one. Toothbrush. What sound would T make? T would say T, T. Oh, and another one. A car is a toy. What sound would it make? T. It would make the sound T. Now, let's go to page 21. Now, if you look at page 21, you'll see the tap and we'll see the letter T. Now, let me just show you the letter T. Okay, so we said letter T starts at the top of the line, goes straight down and makes a curvy kick. And then in the middle, you draw a straight line. Okay, so now on page 21, we have some blocks for you to fill in. Remember to trace against the line and use your pencil. Keep your workbook neat. Excuse me, friends. And now if we go to page 22, we'll find that we have a whole lot of pictures that starts with the letter T. Let's look at the pictures. Tractor, tent, tomato, cat. No, cat doesn't start with the letter T. It ends with the letter T, but we want pictures that starts with the letter T. The beginning sound should be T, the letter T. Car. Does car start with it? No. If they said toy, we could color it. But now let's just look at the ones that starts with the letter T. Tractor, tomato, tent. They all make the sound T. Well, I hope you enjoyed the lesson on the letter T. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed the lesson on the letter T and all the words that you've learned that starts with letter T. Just remember, tree starts with T. Talking to your friend, T. And your tongue also starts with T. Now, let's look at the letter T to remember. Remember, we start at the top of the line and we go and make a curve just near the ground and we kick out with the curve and we make a straight line on the middle line. Now, I would like you to turn to page 23. And on page 23, I would like you to make a little bit of some comparison. I want you to look at the pictures very carefully before we are going to color them. Look at the top line. If you look carefully at the top line, something about the pictures is different. Some of them look the same. One of them does not look like the others. This means we are comparing the one to the other. So I would like you to color the one that looks different. And then you move to the apples. Which one looks different? You may color that one. Now look at the clocks. Which one looks different? And at the bottom of the line, you first need to trace the circles before you can find the one that looks different. If you compare, you'll see that one of the pictures in each row is not the same as the others. This is how you would compare. I hope you enjoy page 23, because if we turn to page 24, we have a lovely exercise for you. Just an exercise that you may enjoy. Remember, if you look at the page on page 24, there's a scissor along the line. So first you need to cut out the page before you can paste it again and color it in. You can color the bear any color that you like. Enjoy coloring this exercise, and remember, if you don't know how to cut out, you may ask mommy or daddy to help you to cut out the picture for you. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed the lesson on the letter T and how to make comparisons. Now, if we want to make a comparison, remember, bananas are different from grapes. Bananas are different from grapes. When we compare things, we see that they are not the same. We also learned about the letter T. Remember, we said letter T, or the letter T starts at the top of the line and we go straight down and we give a curvy kick and we make a straight line in the middle of the line. Let's remember, we said things that start with the letter T. For example, a toy, or at home, toilet paper. Toilet paper. I hope you enjoyed that lesson, but before we conclude our lesson for today, let's sanitize our hands. We spray on the inside with the sanitizer. We rub our hands together and on the back side of our hand and between our fingers, and we give our hands a lovely squishy squashy, and we are all set and sanitized. Friend, where is Zoshi? Oh, Zoshi, let's say bye to our friends.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh and I'm back. Even though the schools are closed, I thought about we can still do online classes, learning and reading. You can also do your schoolwork. Until next time, bye!
Grade 1s, I hope you enjoyed learning about prepositions and directions with Teacher Hetty. But for now, I hope the grade 2 and 3 are ready, because Teacher Mutsa can't wait to teach us about counting in fives.
Hello grade 2s and 3s, welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Mutsa and I have my friend joining me today. Let's say hi to everyone at home. Hello. Our theme this week has been traditional and modern housing and building materials. We have been doing a lot of maths and a lot of English that help us become good architects and construction people. For our lesson, before we begin our lesson actually, we need to learn how to sanitize our hands. So let's take our sanitizer. Remember, everywhere you go, you will now need a mask and a sanitizer so that you can be safe. And what also helps you to be safe is to check your social distancing. We do that by spreading our hands out and in front of us. Well done. Our lesson today, lesson 4, is counting in fives, doing numbers from 100 to 150, and a bit of phonics and reading as well. Our first exercise can be found on page 21. Here we will be counting in fives. Now there are many ways to count in fives, but I am going to teach you how to count in fives using your fingers. What I would like you to do right now is to push your hand out. Very good. Spread your fingers. Wonderful. We are going to use these fingers. Can you wiggle them for me? Very good. And we're going to start with our pinky. Let's just count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wiggle your thumb. Very good. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you are going to use your thumb as the 5th number all the time. We will also be using the counting on method. So from one number, we are counting on to the other number. Are we ready? We will start with 1. Let's push our hand out. And remember to count out loud. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And 5 is on the board already. Very good. Now we are counting on from 5 to 6. So our pinky is now 6. Let's go. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. As you can see, I've already put my 10 where it was missing. So I know that I'm doing the right thing. And we are counting on from 10, and that means our pinky is now number 11. Let's go. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And 15 is on the board. The rest, I'm sure you can do by yourselves, as well as the next exercise that can be found on page 22. This exercise is so easy that I'm not going to have to help you. What you are going to remember is that every time you write the number down, say the number so that you remember what you wrote down. And when you get to the last number, you're going to be so happy. But don't forget to check your work. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed your maths activity. Remember, counting can be fun, especially if you know the answers. Let us now turn to page 23 for our next exercise. Here we have a reading exercise, a comprehension. But instead of you reading by yourselves, I am going to read with you, and then we will answer the questions together. The title is Cat Has a Hat. Let's read together. Nat has a big cat. The cat has a big hat. The cat is on a mat. It is a big mat. Nat likes the hat. Nat likes the mat. Nat likes the big cat. This cat is very interesting. Now remember, when you're reading, you must take your time and sound out words that you don't know, so that it will be easier for you to remember the word next time. And I encourage you to read the passage at least 3 times so that you understand what the passage wants from you. We are going to read it a second time, and remember, sound out any words that you are not sure of. Are you ready? Let us go. Nat has a big cat. The cat has a big hat. The cat is on a mat. It is a big mat. Nat likes the hat. Nat likes the mat. Nat likes the big cat. Okay, now that we have read it twice, let us try and answer the questions 1 up to 3. You are going to circle the correct answer using your pencil or your color. Number 1 says, Nat has a, is it dog, rat, or cat? I want you to circle the correct answer. Very good. Number 2 says, where is the cat? Is it in the tub, on a mat, or on a bed? Please circle the correct answer. Well done. And number 3 says, Nat's cat is it big, small, or red? I'm sure the picture we can see there is Nat's cat. Look at him, he is very beautiful. Let us now try and fill in the missing words in the box below, in the sentences that we can see. But instead of me reading with you, you are going to try and read by yourselves and answer these sentences on your own. Let us now turn to page 24. On page 24, we can see some pictures. With these pictures, you can see that there is a wolf and some piglets or pigs. You can also see that there is a story next to each picture. So we are going to try and do this one together. I'd like you to please take out your pencil and you're going to match with each box that we are going to be doing. Okay? Let me read the first one for you. The pig built his house out of bricks. The wolf could not blow it down and got angry. So, let us now take a look at the pictures that we can see. My friend is going to draw a line from the first box to any of the pictures that she can see, so that the picture will match the story in the box. We heard that the pigs were building a house of bricks and the wolf could not blow it down and got angry. So which picture can show us that the wolf is getting angry and the house of bricks? Can you point to it? That's a good try. How about another picture? Take your time and look at the pictures. Okay, that's another good try, but there's no house of bricks. Let's try another one. Yes, I think it is also this one. So can you draw a line from the picture to the first box? And I also want you to do it at home. Remember, you can use your pencil or your color or different colors. Well done, my friend. Let's move to the next box. The pig built his house out of straw and the wolf blew it down. So, which picture shows what we have just read? Yes, well done. If you also got that picture correct, please can you draw a line from the picture to the box? Oh, this wolf is causing problems. But let's see what happens next. The wolf tried to trick the little pig. Which picture shows the wolf trying to trick a little pig? That's a good one, but it seems like he's blowing instead of tricking. Well done! If you got this one correct, well done as well at home. Can you please draw a line from the wolf to the pig? The pig's story, yes, well done. Then we have the pig built his house out of sticks and the wolf blew it down. Which picture shows the pig and the house of sticks and the wolf blowing it down? Wonderful. Can you please draw a line from that box to the picture? Very good. And the last one says, the wolf climbed down the chimney. He fell into the pot on the fire. Ooh! So which picture? Yes, well done. So by the end of this exercise, your picture or your page is supposed to look like this. Remember, read each box carefully if you're not able to do it by yourselves. And I hope you have fun. And try and read the story again so that it can make sense to you as well. I hope you enjoyed that last exercise. I know I did, because wolves are scary and pigs are cute. Now let us go to page 25. Here, I'm going to teach you how to do a word search. Now I know you have seen these, especially in the newspapers, They are called word searches, and they look difficult and complicated, but I'm going to teach you how to do a word search today, just in case you didn't know. Let's take a look at the board. On the board, we have our first word search, which is exactly the same in your books. We are going to look at them and we are going to say which word is first to be found. We have the word cat. So we are going to look in our word search for the word cat. We're going to start with the first letter and sound it. So if we make that sound, we know that we're looking for cat, which is k. And we are going to look for a C or a k. The C that we can see is this one. So that means that we are going to start from k and try and move in different directions to see if we can find the word cat. Now remember, when we're sounding the word cat, it is k, a, t. So as we are moving, we need to sound the word. Let's try. We are going to move this way. Let's start. Together. K, a, n. No, this doesn't sound right, because the sound we're looking for is t. So let's start again from our k and try a different direction. Let's go down. K, a, t. Yes, so this is our word cat. And how do we now know or show that this is the word that we found? We circle it. So we are going to take our pencil and go round and circle within the boxes. And when we are done circling, we are also going to cross out the word here to show that we are done with that word. My friend here is going to try the last word, sat. And sat has s, a, t. So where are we going to start? I'd like you to point where we are going to start for the word sat. Very good. And I want you to move your finger to the next box that we're going to go to. Yes, s, a, and the last one, t. Well done. So after doing this, what are we going to do? You are going to circle. So let's circle. Remember, your circles don't have to be perfect, but they need to be within the box. Because if you circle another box, you're saying that's the word, and that is wrong. Well done. And after that, we cancel the word sat. Very good. I am now going to do another one. I am going to do number 2. And we are going to say B, because that is the beginning letter. So let's look for B here. There seems to be no B. There is no B here. There is no B here. So it must be here. So we are going to start looking for the word bad here. And we're going to go up. B, t. No, this is not correct. Let us try going across. B, p. No, this is not correct either. So let us now try going across diagonally. Let us see if it works. B, a, d. Yes, this is also correct. So we are now going to take our pencil or our color and we are going to circle our word. There we go. Be careful not to circle any other letters, because if you do, that means that they are part of your word. You can use different colors to circle as well. Once you are done circling, you can cross it out. And this is fun. Remember to use either a different color or a nice sharp pencil so you can go nice and round. The rest of the word searches, including this one, you are going to do by yourselves. We have come to the end of our lesson today, and I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Make sure for the word search that you are looking carefully because sometimes they can be tricky. Now that we are done with our lessons, let us sanitize our hands. Remember, it is important to sanitize your hands and wear your mask wherever you go, as well as to check your social distancing. And how do we do that? By spreading our hands out and in front of us. Well done. But I wonder, I don't think that any of us saw Zoshi today. Oh, there he is. Well done. Otherwise, from Zoshi, my friend, and myself, we all want to say bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh and I'm back. Even though the schools are closed, I thought about we can still do online classes, learning and reading. You can also do your schoolwork. Until next time, bye!
Teacher Mutsa, learning about numbers has never been more fun. But now it's time for science. I hope grade 5s you are ready because Teacher Francina cannot wait to teach us about diseases and how we can keep ourselves safe. So let's head right over for week 4, lesson 4.
Good morning and welcome to MyZone Online School. My name is Ms. Francina Haindongo Eliazar. Let's welcome our friend Chanel, who's going to be our assistant for today. Before we start, let's not forget to sanitize our hands. We must also keep in mind our social distancing and never ever forget to mask up. Today's topic is on diseases, whereby we are going to look at HIV and AIDS. Grade 5s, let's quickly turn to page 20. We are going to look at diseases, where in specific we'll look at HIV and AIDS. At the end of this lesson, each and every learner should be able to differentiate between HIV and AIDS in simple terms, investigate and describe misconceptions, myths about HIV and AIDS, state ways in which HIV is and is not transmitted, explain why sexual abstinence before marriage and faithfulness after marriage are the most effective protection possible for HIV infection. There are a few words that we should quickly look at before we continue with the lesson. We have treatment. Treatment means medical care given to a patient for an illness or injury. Transmitted means causes of something or to pass on from one person or place to another. Abstinence means saying no to sex. Myth and misinterpretation of the truth. Let's differentiate between HIV and AIDS in simple terms. Let's quickly start off with HIV. HIV is a short word that stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. HIV is a virus which attacks our immune system. It weakens our white blood cells, which makes our immune system, or let me say our defense mechanism, weak and unable to fight for infections or diseases. AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome, which is a disease that is caused by HIV. The moment HIV destroys our white blood cells and weakens our immune system, it's unable to fight for infections anymore, and that's when our body is attacked by many infections and diseases, and that is what we call AIDS. Let's quickly move on to page 21. HIV and AIDS is transmitted in many different ways, and there are also many different ways how HIV is not transmitted. HIV in our bodies stays only in certain parts, for example, in certain fluids such as blood, semen, preseminal fluids, rectal fluids, vaginal fluids, and breast milk. Those are the only parts that can transmit HIV in our bodies. Therefore, you can only get HIV from having unprotected sex. You can also get HIV through drugs, especially drug addicts when they share injections. HIV is also transmitted through blood transfusion. For example, when you are in an accident and you lose a lot of blood, that's when you go to the hospital and get new blood from somebody else. There you can get HIV. You can also get HIV through pregnancy. For example, a pregnant mother can pass on HIV from her to an unborn baby. And we can also get HIV from non-sterile instruments. Different ways how HIV cannot be transmitted. You cannot get HIV by touching or shaking hands. You cannot get HIV by sharing utensils or sharing food. You cannot get HIV through kissing. You cannot get HIV through insect bites, for example, mosquitoes or any other animal bite. And you can also not get HIV from sharing a swimming pool or a public toilet. Grade 5s, we are still on page 21. Misconceptions or myth about HIV and AIDS. Remember, I already told you, myth means misconception about HIV and AIDS, or information or wrong information which is mistaken for the truth. Sometimes we say things which are not true, but then there are those people that believe them. But in actual fact, they are not true. Example of this myth. Like number 1, I can get HIV by being around people who are HIV positive, which is actually not true. There is no way you can just get HIV from being around someone. Myth number 2, I can get HIV from a mosquito. Remember when we did how HIV is not transmitted, we talked about us not getting HIV from any animal bite, which is also not true. Number 3, I'm HIV positive, my life is over. You can have HIV for many, many years. It doesn't mean that if you have it today, then your life ends there. That means this is just a misconception. HIV is a sexual transmitted, HIV is a homosexual disease. HIV can infect anyone, not only homosexual, but any one of us can get HIV. Number 5, male circumcision prevents HIV. That is a myth. If I'm receiving treatment, I can't spread the HIV virus, which is not true. So these are just things that people say, but they are not true. Turn over to page 22. Explain why sexual abstinence before marriage and faithfulness after marriage are the most effective protection possible for HIV infection. Abstinence offers adolescents in particular a number of advantages. When you abstain from sex, means you stay away completely from sex. What are the advantages that we have there? It prevents you from getting unwanted pregnancies, or let's say teenage pregnancies. It also saves you time and energy to go to the hospital to look for contraceptives or or it also prevents you from getting other sexual transmitted diseases. Sexual abstinence requires no supply or clinic visits. Being faithful to your partner in marriage means that you are saving your family from getting HIV and AIDS, and you are also saving other families from getting HIV and AIDS. Here down, we have something for you to do. That is your fun quiz. You must try to answer these questions that follows. Try to remember any difference between HIV and AIDS. Tell us what is HIV, and you also tell us what is AIDS. Another question is, mention the effective methods to protect yourself from HIV and AIDS. Just a quick recap on today's lesson. We've looked at the difference between HIV and AIDS, different ways how HIV can be transmitted and cannot be transmitted. We've also looked at the misconceptions or myth about HIV and AIDS, and also remember how abstinence and faithfulness can protect you from getting HIV and AIDS. Before we go, let us quickly sanitize our hands. Remember to keep a social distance and never leave your mask at home. Please keep it on. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh and I'm back. Even though the schools are closed, I thought about we can still do online classes, learning and reading. You can also do your schoolwork. Until next time, bye!
grade 5s, now we know about how we can keep ourselves safe from diseases. Now grade 6, please grab your pens and pencils because teacher Mario is in the virtual classroom today and he'll be teaching us about social health. That is week 3, lesson 3.
Hello everyone, welcome to MyZone Online School. My name is Mr. Mario Atanasio Ananias. Welcome my friend Pomwene. And before everything, let's not forget to put on our mask, sanitize our hands, self-distancing. And our lesson for today is on social health. Learners, let's go on page 16. Learning competencies. This is what you have to know at the end of this lesson. We should be able to identify the stages and characteristics of human growth development from the diagrams. It means we'll be provided with the diagrams and we'll be able to tell which stage is that. Second competency. We'll be able to describe the physical changes that take place in human from birth to death. It means what happened to us as human beings during our lives. The third competency, we'll be able also to explain how each person grows and matures at a different pace. Let's move on. In our previous lesson, you have learned the following, which are the changes on boys and girls. It says, boys grow beard. It's only that I'm wearing a mask now, can't see mine. The voice of the boys deepen. It means boys, their voices have to change. Girls' hips widen. So the sizes of the hips of the girls have to get a little bit bigger. Boys and the girls, they both develop pimples. And when it's come to ladies as well, they start with menstrual cycle, or the menstruation begins. Let's go to page 17. Before we step on the depth of our lesson, let's look at the words that might be difficult for us. Stages. What is a stage? A stage is a step in the development, or it's a development process of somebody. Human growth. Human growth is when an infant body matures into a body of an adult. It means we are looking at from being a child or a baby until we become an old person. Matures is when the body is fully developed. It means you become a very big person now, or a grown somebody. Physical changes. These are the changes that relate to the body. It means we can see them. When you are thinking of something that's not a physical change, physical changes should be possibly seen or can be identified on your body. We look at the pace. The pace is the speed at which something happens. How fast or how slow does the pace? And we look at the genitals, the organs involved in reproduction. We said, let's go back to our competence, which is on page 16, which says we will be able to identify the stages and the characteristics of human growth and development from the diagram. It says, we are studying the very, very first stage of life. Everybody, or all of us, no matter how big or small we are, at one point in life, we are all infants. It means we're all babies. How were we looking when we were babies? We were actually very small in bodies. Our heads were a little bit bigger compared to our bodies. We were all born without teeth, and that's the stage where we normally grow very quickly. So those are the characters of somebody who is an infant. the newborns. And if you look on your right-hand side there, you can see a picture of infant. We're moving on, toddler, which is the next stage or the second stage after being an infant or a baby. How are they looking, or how will you be able to tell that somebody is a toddler? First thing is about the ages or years. A toddler should be at the age of 1 to 3. How do they look like? Their bodies become to get bigger. They learn how to walk. Their coordination skills develop. It means that they start now to do things by themselves. They know that if I want to walk from here to there, I'll hold on a chair or I'll hold on a bed or whatever. As brain and muscle develop, the toddler learn to walk, run, climb, talk, feed, dress by themselves. This is the stage where all of us have learned how to put on our own clothes. That's the second stage of life. We are moving on to page 18. The third stage of life, a child or children, their age should be between 4 and 12. These people are actually young person, not yet an adult. But how do they look like? How will you tell if somebody is a child or not? A child, the body proportions change. The head is not as large in relation to the rest of the body. We have explained in the infant that the head is bigger than the body. But here, if you are a child, the body should be now bigger than the head. Their coordination skills develop further. So here is where you find a lot of them, they try to have their own favorite sport codes. Is where now they develop some of the skills. They become masters of some skills. They name themselves after celebrities because of what they like doing. And then the replacement of milk teeth by permanent teeth. This is the time that they lose their first teeth. Okay? They start shaking them and remove them. That's the stage of being a child. The next stage of life is adolescence, which is also sometimes called teenage stage. Okay? Everybody in this stage, the age has to end with the word teen. It means if your age reads as a teen, you're an adolescent or a teenager. What happens? These people grow to an adult size. Some of them, if you don't know them well, you might even think that they are adults, but they are not. And then boys at this stage, when they are teenagers, what happens with the boys? They grow hair on their faces, which is called beard. Okay? Those are boys. And they also grow hair under their arms, right? You might realize that one of your brothers start now putting on long sleeves because they don't want you to see the hair that grows under their arms because they are teenagers. Both boys and girls, they grow hair under their genitals. Around their reproductive parts, they grow the hair. Their voices deepen. Their voices become deeper. My voice was not like this when I was a boy. But when I became a teenager, I got this voice. The chest and the shoulders widen. You realize that the shoulder of the boys become broadened. It moves out of the neck. The reproductive organs grow larger. It means their genital parts, they become bigger. The boys, the testicles, they start to produce sperm. It means they are at the stage of making babies. The girls grow hair under the arms and around the genitals. It means under their armpit, they grow hair and also around their reproductive parts. Their hips, the side of the hips become wider, it moves out of the body. They start with the menstrual periods, or the menstruation begins. They are going to have their monthly period every month. And also their ovaries, which you can't see. You will learn more about that at the later stage. The ovaries start to produce eggs. Those are the characteristics of adolescence, or teenagers. I hope you're all with me. Let's move on to page 19. We are looking at adults, okay? So now we are talking about people of my stage. We are done with Pamwene here. Now you are talking about me. What people should be, or what are the expectations of people at my stage or in my stage? Little physical changes after reaching adulthood, okay? So when an adult person doesn't really change, the changes are hardly seen because they happen at a very low pace, okay? So they don't change, they don't grow fast anymore as the young ones. Some adults gain weight. The only normally thing that change with them is the body size. Either become bigger, a little bit small, okay? Men may become bald, and at some stage also, women stop menstruating during menopause. Some of these things are also going to learn deeper about them as time goes. Then we go to the final stage of life. That's old age. These are the grandmothers and the grandfathers. They are 60 years and more. What happens to them? Their skin develop wrinkles. It means the kind of spots and falling skin. Hair becomes gray. Normally you hear people saying that I'm having a white head. It's normally not white, but gray. Their hair change from being black or dark or brown and become gray. The sight, the hearing, and the memory may become weaker. When you are staying with a grandmother or grandfather, they normally call you closer when you're talking to them because they can't hear well. Or sometimes you might realize that they even send you somewhere because they can't see well. The muscles become weaker. Even if you feel them, you can feel that their muscles are actually a bit weaker compared to teenagers, adults, and the rest of the people. And they become tired so easily. When you walk at distance with your grandmother, grandfather, you realize that sometimes they pause the walk or telling you that let's rest a little bit because I'm tired. Those are the characteristics of the old age, which is 60 and above. Bear with me, we are moving to page 20. On page 20, we are stepping a little bit further when we are looking at how everybody grows and matures at a different pace. We have looked at the stages of life, but it doesn't mean that all of us have to reach those stages at the same time, even though if you were born in the same day. It says, our bodies change in similar ways, meaning that your body have to change as mine through life. But it doesn't happen at the same time or at the same age, depending on the pace. Remember, we talked about the pace already, how fast or slow. Sometimes the differences in timing can be difficult to cope with when you are growing up, okay? One might feel that one is behind everybody else. Some people might even think that if their peers, somebody who's even born after them is having beard, why they don't develop beard yet, they might think that they are behind. But that's not the case. Just hold on until your time comes. You are talking about the pace. This happens because we grow and develop at different pace from others on the same age. If you look at your class, you look at your friends. If you ask how old is everybody in your class, you realize that some people that are having the same age as you, some are even looking bigger, some are even looking younger than you while they're sharing the same age. It's just because everybody is unique in his or her own way. We continue. Humans grow and mature at a different pace or speed. We have just explained that. And it could be because of different reasons. Now we have to understand why women have to grow fast or why women have to grow slowly than anybody else. Why some teachers who have the same age as other teachers are looking younger than the other teachers? This can be some of the reasons. It can be the genetics. This is something that we are born with. It can be nutrition because of what we eat. We don't eat the same thing every day. Or different houses have different meals. It can also be because of health. Some people might have different diseases that can avoid them from getting or from growing fast, which is maybe making them to grow very slowly. However, even though, no matter at what stage of development we are, we should always treat others with respect and kindness, irrespective of how fast or how slow somebody grows. You have to treat that person as much as you want to be treated. We are concluding. We are saying that various stages of human growth and development. We have the infant, we have the toddler, we have children or child, adolescence, which is a teenager, we have adults, and we have our grandparents, which is old age, above the age of 60. I hope you have listened very well. Let's taste our knowledge. Let's go to page 21, activity 1 for the day. Question 1. The following stage of human growth and development are mixed up. Now, we want you to rewrite them or the words in the correct order from the youngest to the oldest stage of development. You are having them on the left, all of them written down. Now we want you to write them in order from which one comes first in somebody's life until the last one. Question 2. Name the developmental stage in which the maturing of the reproductive organs take place. We are saying that the maturing of organs, reproductive organs specifically, it takes place in one of the stages. Which one is it? You write it down there. Question 3. Complete the table by describing the main physical changes that can occur at each stage in the human life cycle. So what are we expecting you to do? We want you to complete the characteristics that happen to everybody in his or her stage of development. We have growth or developmental stages on our left: infant, toddler, child, adolescent, adult, and old age. And then on our right side, we have main physical changes that occur. Infant is already done for you as an example. So you have now to continue with the rest by giving all the details regarding each of the stage of development. I hope you have enjoyed your video. But before that, let's not forget to sanitize our hands and keep self-distancing as well as wearing our mask. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Shoshi and I am Peck. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
So a little birdie told me that the grade 6s are having a good time learning about social health. So now we have another lesson lined up, that is lesson 4 for week 4, and this time it's with teacher Masie.
Welcome to MyZone Online School. My name is Mr. Masia, and now let us also say hello to Pomwene. Before we begin today's lesson, let us remember to put on our facial mask, and also let us sanitize. Here's my sanitizer. A few squints in the hands, rub our hands between our fingers, also around our thumb. It is also important that we keep our social distancing in front and on the sides to ensure that nobody else is touching us. Now, even though schools are closed, it is important that we keep on learning. It's important that we go and get online content, do class activities, homework, etc. Today's lesson will be lesson 4 on social health. Let us now turn to page 17 for our lesson. Our basic competencies. You should be able to describe physical changes in females involving the menstrual cycle and relate it to conception. You should also list ways in which some learners are special and thus might require special attention. Suggest how they can show respect to others who are both similar and different than they are. Our terminology. The first word is conception, also known as fertilization. It is the action of forming a child when a sperm cell joins with a female egg and implantation occurs. The second terminology is the word special. It refers to being better, greater, or otherwise different from what is usual. The next word is respect. It is a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, disabilities, qualities, or achievements. The menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle is the discharge of blood, uterus lining, and unfertilized egg through the vagina. It occurs monthly from puberty to menopause in non-pregnant women and females of other primate species. Let us turn over to page 18. The menstrual cycle provides the female with a chance to be able to conceive. This chance is created by periodically releasing an egg from the ovary in an environment capable of developing it into a baby. Physical changes in females involving the menstrual cycle, and then let us relate these physical changes to conception. We have a diagram to assist us to better understand how the menstrual cycle works, or how conception can occur. So every month, the ovary physically releases an egg into the fallopian tube, which is also known as the oviduct. This triggers ovulation, causing the uterus lining to thicken in preparation for a possible pregnancy. And if a sperm cell fertilizes the egg cell within the fallopian tube or oviduct. Fertilization is also referred to as conception. After conception, the fertilized egg travels to the uterus where it will be implanted. Let's continue on page 19. The uterus contains all the necessary nutrients to develop the implanted egg into a baby. If fertilization does not occur, the uterus lining begins to break down and is passed out together with the unfertilized egg out of the body. And this is what we would normally refer to as menstruation. Females may get headaches, abdominal cramps, and will physically bleed. Let us look at ways in which some learners are special and thus might require special attention. As we all know, we are all different from each other in one way or the other. Some of your friends may be better at running, or are very intelligent, talented, have a disability, or are popular. People with disability have special needs. They may need help getting around or require buildings to be adjusted. So what is important to remember is to treat others as you would have them treat you. Treat others with respect and help those that are in need but can't help themselves because of a disability. Look around for friends with special needs around you and see how you can help them, even if it just means pushing a wheelchair around or helping them get into a car. Let us also look at ways of how you can show respect to others who are both similar and different than you are. As you mature, you need to begin to realize that everyone is different and unique, and that everyone is relevant. We all have different beliefs and opinions, and there is no learner that is superior to the other learner, regardless of your race, your gender, or your ethnicity. Therefore, it is important that you practice the golden rule. Do unto others what you wish them to do unto you. Let us now turn to page 20. On page 20, we have our self-assessment activity. Number 1, you are required to describe 3 physical changes in females that occur at the onset of menstruation. The word onset means beginning. Number 2, you should list 2 ways in which some kids are special at your school or in your community. And the last question, you should suggest 2 ways on how you can show respect to kids that are different from you. That concludes today's lesson. And please remember, during this time, it is very, very important that in whatever you do, you always wear a facial mask. Remember to always sanitize your hands. And last but not least, let us keep the social distancing all around us. And please, even though schools are closed, it is important that you keep your brain busy by doing online classes or activities, including homework. From us, it's bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh and I'm back. Even though the schools are closed, I thought about we can still do online classes, learning and reading. You can also do your schoolwork. Until next time, bye!
So those are all the lessons that we had planned for today. Of course, join us again tomorrow for another exciting and educational session right here at the MyZone Online School. But before we go, we always like to bring you some content from across the regions, and today we are seeing visuals from the Khomas region where we spoke to a teacher. Her name is Emma Hans and she's a language teacher at Emma Wegenoot. So until next time, it's goodbye from me.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Hans. I'm the language teacher for grade 7 at Emma Hooggenet Primary School. So we have come up with a offline mode of reaching the parents of the children who are maybe at the farm or who cannot come online or don't have sufficient data. So we have come up with this COVID-19 booklet where the kids can do activities. So they can focus on one subject per day. They don't all have to do everything all at once. So the kids are engaged in this way. So those who cannot afford to do online teaching, we have created a second option for them where they can have a booklet for the whole month, and then we create it on a monthly basis so where kids can be engaged. So the work is not, we are not overwhelming the children, but we have made the work compact and concise so the learners can do it without the parents' supervision.